You know, in Marvel Rivals, not every duo is born to be teammates like Bucky and Captain America. For example, I just found out that Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, which were actually bedmates in one of the comics. And now they're teaming up for combat in the game? Sounds like drama waiting to happen. Or how about Black Widow and the Punisher? They used to beat the hell out of each other in the comics before deciding to join forces in the game. And don't even get me started on the Jeff Nato team-up. It looks like a low-budget American horror flick, straight-up Sharknado vibes. And trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. What's lurking beneath is even crazier. So, let's dive into the video and uncover what's really going on. Let's go! To compete with the dominance of DC Comics in the 1950s, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created the Fantastic Four, a team of scientists and explorers who gained superpowers after being exposed to cosmic radiation during a spaceflight. Unlike traditional superhero teams, the Fantastic Four chose to go public with their identities and had very relatable personalities. They had their fair share of strengths, but also plenty of flaws. This became a major breakthrough for Marvel Comics, paving the way for a new generation of real people. The Fantastic Four also had another unique trait. Their stories centered around exploration and cosmic adventure, perfectly reflecting the spirit of the space race between the US and the Soviet Union in the early 1960s. Just like in the comics, the Fantastic Four in Marvel Rivals are a team of superheroes born after a cosmic accident that exposed them to radiation, giving them incredible powers. Over the years, they've gone on countless adventures, started families, and even had children. They've also played a key role in the war against Dracula and his vampire army when New York was plunged into eternal darkness, while standing side by side with the Avengers to protect the world. Overall, the relationship between Black Widow and the Punisher, both game and the comics, falls into that classic frenemies category. Yeah, they respect each other and are willing to team up when necessary, but they'll never fully trust one another. According to the Marvel Rivals storyline, even though both of them are enhanced soldiers who've used life-extending serums and now fight on the same side against Doom 2099, Natasha secretly plans a tracking device and tips off Public Eye about Frank's location, just to make sure he'll back her up in this mission. Despite the fragile trust between them, there's still a sense of mutual understanding. Both of them are old warriors from a long-gone era, somehow still standing strong in the year 2099. Compared to the game, the relationship between the Russian spy and New York's vigilante is a bit more complicated in the comics. Both are professional assassins, which means they can easily predict each other's moves and tactics. However, Natasha's moral code tends to live in the gray area, while Frank's sense of justice is very black and white, no compromises. And even though they share the same goal of taking down dangerous criminals, the way they deliver justice couldn't be more different. While Frank has zero faith in the law and won't hesitate to kill, Natasha, as a member of the Avengers, tries to avoid taking lives and prefers to work within the boundaries of the law. Even when they end up on the same team, the two often clash over how to deal with criminals. In several Marvel comic storylines, Black Widow has actually been ordered to stop or capture the Punisher because of his violent, out-of-control actions. In both the comics and the MCU, there's never been anything close to an alliance or partnership between Ultron and Iron Man. In the comics, Iron Man and the Avengers are the main obstacles standing in the way of Ultron's plan to wipe out humanity. Ultron absolutely hates Tony Stark and is always looking for a way to take him down. In the MCU, things got even messier when the two basically became father and son. But of course, the rebellious kid Ultron decided to wipe out his father and reshape the world his own way. In Marvel Rivals, though, their relationship is a little less intense. Sure, they still mock and trash talk each other every chance they get, but when it comes down to it, Iron Man and Ultron are willing to team up if it means taking down a common enemy. In the early comic storylines, Doctor Strange and Scarlet, which didn't have a lot of direct interaction. But within the Magik community, the two were still considered colleagues and would occasionally team up to take down big threats. Doctor Strange was actually the one who delivered Wanda's babies, even though he's not a professional obstetrician.
What the hell?
Turns out, besides delivering her babies, Doctor Strange and Scarlet, which also Netflix and chilled. And guess what? His future wife Clea, she tagged along too.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Specifically in the new Avengers, Illuminati comic written by Brian Michael Bendis, Doctor Strange was granted a wish by the Beyonder. And what did he wish for? A triangle party with Wanda and Clea. That sounds pretty wild, right guys? By 2015, Marvel Comics refreshed a lot of storylines, which also changed the dynamics between certain characters, including Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. At this point, they'd grown much closer, often hanging out at bars together and keeping in touch more regularly. That's in the comics, but what about Marvel rivals? According to the game's storyline, Wanda and Strange are both Sorcerer Supremes, sharing the responsibility of protecting the universe. However, their alliance is a ticking time bomb since they have very different philosophies. Strange stands for order and discipline, while Wanda embodies freedom and impulsiveness. In the Marvel Comics universe, Iron Fist, the Lin Live version, and Alumnus are both members of an Asian superhero team called the Agents of Atlas, led by Jimmy Woo. The two first teamed up in War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas 2019, back when Lin Lai was still known as Swordmaster. After that, they continued working together in Atlantis Attacks and King in Black. While Iron Fist and Alumnus don't have a particularly deep relationship, they've always made a solid team during joint missions. In Marvel Rivals, their interactions are lighthearted and fun. Even though their screen time together isn't very long, it's still enough to reflect the partnership they built in the comics.
Been too long since we did this together, Luna. Ready for an encore?
An Agents of Atlas reunion tour? I don't know.
You can't deny that would be a hot ticket.
Maybe, but I've always preferred the cold.
Since they mostly operate in separate teams and storylines, Black Panther and Magik rarely have direct interactions in the comics. Black Panther is usually tied to Wakanda and the Avengers, while Magik is a core member of the X-Men and closely connected to the mystical realm of Limbo. Even when both appeared in the Avengers vs. X-Men event, there still wasn't any particularly notable interaction between them. Even though Spider-Man and Squirrel Girl aren't exactly best friends or regular teammates, every time they cross paths, their interactions are super cute, funny, and entertaining. Mostly because they both have playful, quirky personalities and actually went to the same school, Empire State University. That's also the reason their team name includes the SU, which stands for the university they both attended, since they're around the same age and both love cracking jokes while fighting. Spider-Man and Squirrel Girl often team up in smaller comic events filled with humor and everyday moments, like the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. In Marvel Comics, Adam Warlock is portrayed as a messiah-like figure, with the ability to resurrect himself inside a regeneration cocoon. Basically, whenever he's seriously injured or even killed, Adam can retreat into a cocoon to fully heal and often come back even stronger. Not only can he create a cocoon for himself, but he's also capable of doing it for others. For example, after Thanos died during the Annihilation event, Adam used a cocoon to wrap Thanos' body and bring him back. Thanks to this unique ability, Adam Warlock was chosen to team up with Mantis and Star-Lord in Marvel Rivals as part of the Guardian Revival Squad. In the game, Adam Warlock shares his cocoon resurrection ability with Mantis and Star-Lord, allowing them to revive mid-battle every 2 minutes. This not only calls back to the close bond between Adam Warlock, Mantis, and Star-Lord in the comics, where they became battle-hardened allies after the Annihilation Conquest event, fighting against Ultron and the Phalanx, but also represents the unbreakable connection and undying spirit of the Guardians of the Galaxy. In the comics, the relationship between Hela, Thor, and Loki is heavily influenced by Norse mythology. In some storylines, Hela is the daughter of Loki and the giantess Angrboda, and serves as the goddess of death, ruling over the realm of the dead. Driven by her ambition to claim Asgard and the souls of Thor and Odin, Hela often finds herself in direct conflict with both father and son. In the MCU, however, their relationship was reworked. Hela is portrayed as Odin's firstborn and only daughter, who once fought alongside him to conquer the 9 realms and expand Asgard's power. But as her bloodlust and ambition grew out of control, Odin eventually banished her to Hell, fearing what she had become. After Odin took his last breath, Hela managed to escape from Hell and made her way to Midgard, where her 2 younger brothers, Thor and Loki, were staying with the goal of reclaiming the throne she believed was rightfully hers. In Marvel Rivals, their relationship is quite similar to the MCU version. Hela is also depicted as the sister of Thor and Loki, and the 3 often find themselves at odds with one another. And even if they do form an alliance, it's always a relationship built on schemes and hidden agendas. In the Ragnarok Rebirth team-up, Hela has a passive ability that allows her to instantly revive one of her 2 brothers if they've fallen in battle, or heal them if they're still alive, right after she lands a finishing blow on an enemy. This perfectly captures the essence of their divine alliance, a mix of love and hate in the post-Ragnarok era. No matter how much they fight or betray each other, when faced with a greater threat, they'll still have those fated moments of teaming up. And it's Hela who holds the power over their survival, thanks to her control over life and death. Whether it's in the comics, the MCU, or in Marvel Rivals, Bucky Barnes and Steve Rogers have always shared an incredibly deep bond. In both the comics and the MCU, Bucky is more than just a friend. He's like a brother to Steve. Even after Bucky was brainwashed and turned into the ruthless assassin Winter Soldier, Steve chose to stand against the world rather than abandon him.
Hey, that's pretty gay.
In Marvel Rivals, the developers chose to focus more on the Battle Brothers till the end aspect of Steve and Bucky's relationship, rather than the brainwashing drama from the comics and movies. Through their team-up moments and in-game interactions, the 2 show unshakable trust in each other amidst the chaos of the multiverse. On the battlefield, their combat synergy is also highlighted with Captain America holding the front line, while Winter Soldier provides backup, combining their abilities to unleash a shockwave that damages surrounding enemies. And that's a wrap on all the fun facts about the team-ups in Marvel Rivals Season 2 by the Lagfather. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to support the channel. And hey, if you know any other cool facts, drop them in the comments and let me know. That's it for now. Bye-bye.